Guys, welcome to the channel. Sonny here, and today we have our amazing global patch. We're using Black as a foundry. The link is going to be in the description for the patch notes if you want to read them yourself. But let's dive into it. We got some big changes here. Also, a quick note about this. We cover this every Friday on the stream at twitch.tv/bprimegaming. Come and hang out, watch it live. We do the deep dive. This here is afterwards. I'm doing a quick summary for you here on YouTube. And also, the changes normally will be out in Korea on Wednesday, and we get most of these the following week, so in around 12 days from Friday the 19th. But let's dive into it. Some of these will not be out then, and I'll cover it here in a bit. So first off, we got the TLDR list here. We're getting the second pin Gentina quest, and there are some huge changes to the quest line for the Gentina. Now, first off, you can see the required materials here, the new updated materials you need, and there is no daily quest anymore. The daily quest is gone. You now need these materials. So if you are a veteran player or a more seasoned player, you can potentially get this instantly on day one when we get this update. Newer players, they'll still be able to progress towards this at a faster rate. It's right now with current prices of these items here, it's around 14.5 billion silver value from the pry all the way to the pin. So it's super cheap, it's extremely good value, and a new player is not going to have to play Daily Desert online, right? You can go, you can do the stuff you want, you can take your resources and start working towards these upgrades along the way. You still have the three options, Crescent Ring, Narc, and Tongue Earring. Now, quick note about this. Because they're removing the daily quest requirements, it's going to be a bit of a while before it actually comes out. Since it takes time to actually synchronize the existing daily quest to the system, the official server update may take some time. So we don't know when we're getting this. But hopefully it's not going to be too much, right? I think this is going to be great getting it. So if you already have your current pin Gentina, you'll be able to make a second one. If you are currently on the quest to try and make your first one, well, you could pause it now, or you could keep going for it and get it or whatever. You can also just wait for the system to update, and then you don't have to do the dailies. But if you're close to it, you probably should just finish off the daily quest and get your pin, and then be ready for the second one when that comes out. Here, there's a quick video showing the upgrade, right? So you have all of these, and then you can craft it, and there it goes, you have it. They're also making it easier to switch between them. There'll be a total of 4 free exchanges will be provided to all adventurers after the update, regardless of whether the existing has been done before. So even if you already changed, you could do it 2 times previously. You can now do it a total of 4 times, and even if you have used your 2 attempts to switch from, say, Crescent to Narc or vice versa, you can now get 4 more switches, which should be completely free. Yeah, 4 times, no cost. You just go, you have the UI and you change them. So nice. This is amazing. This is so nice. Love to see this. The Crescent is still pretty much the best choice until some in-game builds where Narc can be best. But it will, for most people, Crescent is going to be the right choice. And then down the road, Narc could be the option, or probably will be the option, depending on what you're doing for PvE purpose. But now we're talking like more in-game builds. Other than that, Crescent is pretty much the way to go. But now it's going to be free, so you can just change it. You're not going to make a mistake. You go with the Crescent first. Whenever Narc becomes the best choice, you can switch it over. Next up is a huge change as well. We get a lot of simplifications again this week. This is great. It makes the game less cluttered, more intuitive, more straightforward. But this here is the biggest one for me personally that I've been waiting for. The unification of Lifeskill crystals. In Land of the Morning Light, you can acquire Lifeskill crystals, and there is 2 types. 10 Mastery or 5% Lifeskill EXP, but they exist for every type of Lifeskill, as you can see here. So for me, on Alchemy, I have 32 crystals, 16 Mastery and 16 EXP in my crystal setup. So I can't even get other Lifeskills. I don't have room for them. Now, they're changing all of them into being all Mastery and all EXP. So you just need 1 set of these, and you can use it for all your Lifeskills. This is huge, it's amazing, it's a great change, and it's a must-have change to the game. Super happy to see this. Good job. Of course, they will be transferred, and there might be some, if you have more, you might be able to sell them and get your money back. Let's say some people probably have multiple life skills. I know there's some life skill streamers that have pretty much maxed out on every single life skill. So it looks like they are doing something for those with the simplification. Right, next up, they are deleting a lot of the old weak crystals, pretty much all the green crystals, and I think the blue ones as well, getting deleted, and they're changing all the quests that were in the game that required these for something. They're changing them so you won't be blocked out of being able to do some of those quests. Super nice, just lots of filler. They are buffing stamina on all the history crystals. The dim magic crystals, which you get from acquiring X life skill level, one-time thing, they are making those unified as well. And this one here is interesting. This is the 10% critical damage crystal, which are used to make the AARK crystals. Sorry, not the AARK. They're used to making the corrupted crystals. These are currently a blue grade item, but they're making it into a yellow grade item, and they're removing the alchemy recipe to make these. So you can currently, until this patch hits, make these with alchemy. They're removing that recipe, but they're adding them as a drop from world bosses. So there'll probably be a steady supply of these. But if you're looking to have some, you might buy a few or maybe make a few using the alchemy recipe before we get this patch, which should be live. This portion here should be live in 12 days on NA and EU. They are also changing the probability when opening this crystal here, which have these items in it. Here, big update, we've been waiting for this. The fourth and final grind spot in the Ulukita region. They are adding it now, so I expect to see this in Korea next week. I believe we'll get this very quickly in the rest of the world, as there isn't this huge quest line to localize. So probably, there's a good chance we'll get this in 12 days in the rest of the world as well. Very beautiful winter region style. It's in Ulukita in the southern region of it. Some cool screenshots here. Check out the link. The mobs are gonna be what looks like some Mani realm constructs. It's going to be a tower spot. So these big boys here are going to be spawning a lot of the mobs, it looks like, and you're going to be killing those and fighting like in one location, unlike the Darkseekers where you're running around pack to pack. It's a 310 AP recommendation and 420 DP, same as Darkseekers. And at least for Darkseekers, you can grind it with a lot lower DP than that. So we'll see if it's the same here or if these actually hit very hard. The loot is the same as Darkseekers, so it's the Kapua artifacts and the flames, plus of course the fragments and embers, the pity pieces, and also BMCs. Exact same loot as the Darkseekers retreat. It's a tower spot style area, and the difference between this and Darkseekers is that this will have a reduced rate of embers and flames, but an increased rate of fragments and the artifacts. So if you already have your flame and you just want to be grinding for silver, more artifacts, this is going to be the spot to do it. But for the people that are trying to make their folding guard boots, then the Ada shoes, then Darkseekers will still be the prime spot for that. And speaking of Darkseekers, there is an update to it, much needed update. After finishing 2 pair of boots, 203 embers, not getting a single artifact, I actually hated the spot. So there's a lot of annoyances with it when grinding it, and they are dealing with some of them, making it better, and also a bit more streamlined in terms of how you grind it. The changes have been made focusing on removing inconvenient elements in the process of killing the monsters and moving to the next group. The inconvenience of monsters remaining in the process has also been resolved, allowing you to continue grinding more smoothly. So this is great. This might actually be a nice spot now. They are changing the Zerg event. So when you're doing it, you would sometimes get a small mob spawning, and this is like a lot of times you would run, you would kill your pack, you would move, the mob would spawn, you would run back and kill it. It's like super annoying. And then mobs would spawn, they would Zerg, and now they're changing it so it's going to be a big artifact like this spawning. You kill that, and then the Zerg event happens. On top of it, the regular group will no longer respawn. So when you're doing this Zerg event and you're one-shotting mobs, currently the normal pack would respawn, and they were tanky, it was annoying. Now they're not going to spawn, but they're increasing the rate of the Zerg event. There's going to be multiple waves, and they're going to be more and more and more mobs. They are also adding a guaranteed fragment at the end of the Zerg event. Plus, they are changing some of the attack patterns and damage, nerfing the damage a bit. And they are changing the CC, the float, to only be applied during the breath attack. So less random CCs out of nowhere that you shouldn't be hit by. It's going to be way more consistent avoiding the CC, which is also going to make the place just a lot more chill to grind. That's about it for this place here. They're changing like common changes like Acres Fever and everything. Should be also increased rates. They do talk about here the amount of EXP gain and the probability of obtaining loot. And the amount of loot obtained has changed. They don't say how much. So I'm assuming there's going to be a buff to the place in line with the other changes done to buffing like the high AP spots that weren't making enough. I'm guessing it's going to be a straight buff to Darkseekers and increased rates of drops, both silver drops and rare drops. But we don't know the actual numbers here, so we'll have to wait and see. The Miraculous Fish Tank quest has been changed. It's been changed to proceed as a general quest rather than a weekly, so that means you can spam them instead of having to just do it every week. So if you want to get that fish tank, then you can do that easier now. Same with the Fuzzy Wuzzy Alpaca Mountain quest. It's now no longer a daily quest, it's a normal quest, which means you can keep doing it. You don't have to wait for the daily, you can grind out in one day if you want to. Some other changes here, we have item changes to the Stone of Thought. Just changing the crystals, again, following from the removal of crystals, they've changed some of these drops, these items that had them in it, that's about it. The NPCs, where you can gift them for stuff to have that romance and become the lover of an NPC. Any of those items that took crystals, changed to something else. That's about it. The issue where the attack range displayed of some following world bosses would appear more quickly, Saka, Nuver, and Kudum. Next up, we got some terrain in Arkman being changed. And this will be affecting the DKR spots, right? The location of the stone tower evolution, DKR Arkman, has been changed because of this. So it should open up this room more. This one here is for all the people that are annoyed about misalignment. So that they fix some of the misalignment with the UI elements, like the inventory and your gear back. So they should be more aligned. They moved recently cooking and alchemy from the right side to the left side, so it's not going to be over your inventory anymore. And for class changes, the only class change here is going to be a slight bug fix on Scholar, where now the healing debuff is going to show up on the debuff bar, and it's also not going to apply the healing debuff to non-allies or enemies. So it was apparently applying to just random people, even if they weren't friends or foes. So that's going to be it for today. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you all in the next one. Take care.